No. The next big thing I want to do is disconnect all 3 connectors of the ECU, disconnecting all the main plugs. Here comes the headlight switch. So this thing is pretty stuffed. What a beautiful sunset. Perfect time to work on my caddy. I just wanna disconnect the whole trunk thing in here. I just found this here. Getting bolts out is one thing, but getting them back in is a whole new story. Excuse me for getting off the track, but this is a thing that's been bugging me for years.
These wires have seen better days for sure.
Ooh, ninja reflexes do come in handy. But yeah, I can't get the starter here out. Yay, it got worse. So now I want to track down my purple wire coming up from the starter motor to my EFI harness. I guess purple should not have ground, but it does. Another few days have passed. I finally got my fuse for my multimeter, so I can resume testing for my parasitic draw. Still, I haven't managed to figure out what is causing my parasitic draw. The antenna relay is on its way to my home. I think it will arrive in the next 1 or 2 weeks at latest. And until then, I'm gonna resume testing some points I put on my to-do list. And I think the first thing I want to test is disconnecting the ECU. That is a huge point, and somehow I think this could be the cause, but we'll find out. So let's pop the hood, connect the multimeter, and resume testing. I think you know by now, for testing the parasitic draw, I gotta disconnect the negative connector to the terminal and put the multimeter in between. But I gotta plug in 10 amps and switch to, where is it? 10 amps. And now let the fun begin. I gotta get my clamp again to put this here. And this thing here. This one is on there tight. I'll connect this one to here. Here you have the multimeter. I hope you have a good view. I try to say it out loud what the reading is. Let's turn the car on, and we have the reading without the dome lights of 0.88, 0.87. What I did so far, I pulled out the antenna relay because that one is junk. I ordered a new, I disconnected the antenna, I pulled out the generator and disassembled it, measured the diode trio, the rectifier bridge, and I measured a bunch of other stuff. So the next big thing I want to do is disconnect all 3 connectors of the ECU and hope that the reading changes. If not, the next big thing is disconnecting all the main plugs, like the body, the trunk, seats, all sort of things. So let's disconnect the ECU and hope we find the culprit. But in order to do that, I gotta pull out this cover here. Oh yeah, 1 or 2 things. I pulled out the dashboard, I disconnected and pulled out the clock. So the reading didn't change, which means the clock wasn't the culprit either. But either way, the clock didn't work, so now I have at least a beautiful emblem here. And another finding I had was that the generator light doesn't come on. Usually you put in the keys, turn the ignition switch on, and generator, oil pressure, these lights should come on, but the generator light doesn't come on. I tested the bulb in here, that works, I tested the connections, they work too, but somewhere between the generator in the front and the light here, something doesn't work. And it's two sides. So if both sides of the lamp deliver 12 volts, the light goes out. So it could also be that the other side that connects to the bulb doesn't deliver 12 volts. So we gotta dig in deeper here too. But yeah, let's resume on disconnecting the ECU here. So I pulled out this bolt here, this one over here. The third one for the ECU cover is this one right here. Here in the back is another bolt, but I don't think I'm gonna pull it since we can reach the ECU anyways. So here I pulled out all three connectors. None of them didn't change a thing. One connector I think is this one, yeah. Here we have the bad wire end. This thing here, which looks pretty burned up, is for my fuel pump. I pulled all three connectors to the ECU, which means we can cross the ECU of the list of things that could cause my parasitic draw. So I connect it again, cross it off the list, and we see what's on the menu next. While I'm putting them back in, especially this one, I want to be sure that this connector, dark green here with the inline fuse, is connected. And lastly this one. So all three are back in. I'm gonna bolt on the ECU cover and we'll proceed to the next step. The bolts are back in, here, here, and here. This one. So I can cross off ECU from the list. I'm gonna do it right now, because why have a list and not use it? ECU, check. So here I have the headlight switch on the list. I gotta pull out this thing right here and see if the headlight switch causes my problem. So let's do this. And just one last time, I want to check this wiring here. So while I was editing, I think I pulled this plug here on the Gen 2 or 3 times already. Just one more time, because one thing that came to my mind is that this plug here is put in the wrong way. But this way it doesn't even fit, so this is correct that way. So main switch on, origin button, 30 amps. This is one thing I can't wrap my head around, because I pulled this apart. I know that the diode tree works, I know that the rectifier bridge is okay, and still it's drawing voltage. Nope. So while I'm here, why not test this real quick? The windshield washer pump. Pull this out. Main switch on. Still 0.86, so this did nothing. Nope. Let's try that connection here. Nope. Not that noteworthy. 0.85, 0.86 still. So we know that this doesn't cause it as well. Let's try the headlamp switch. To pull this out, we have one crosshead bolt here. There is one up here. Gotta get that out as well. And I think down there I would have to pull. Oh, okay, I gotta put this out again. The steering rack cover underneath here. So this is another sad thing I found out here. Is when I pulled out the light switch the first time. I think it was the time when I was looking for why my high beams don't work. Reason being, here in Europe we have a switch on the steering rack. In America The switch for the high beams is down there. One here and the other one here. Alright. Here comes the headlight switch. So this thing is pretty stuffed. Here we have it. So what I'm gonna do now is disconnect them one by one and hope for something to change here. If I push in the door jump button, we're at 0.86, 0.87. This is for the AC. So let's pull this one out first. Bam. So did it change a thing? Nope. Next connector, also for the AC, didn't change a thing as well. So now the headlight switch here. There are two connectors on here. So I'm pulling the first one. Didn't change a thing as well. And the next connector. Nope. Still 0.87. So this did nothing. But at least we know that. And if you put in all these connectors here, be careful that those are really in. Because one time I pushed the connector back in and bent one of these blade connectors down there, and the headlight wouldn't switch on again. Let's reconnect the AC connectors. 1 and 2. There is another connector in here, and another thing I want to show you that highlights how much the previous owner butchered around in here. Here you can see this blue wire. I can't recall where it goes to, but as you can see, he snapped it and connected it again. And there is another connector in here. I'm gonna pull out real quick. Two connectors here. Next, I'm gonna pull out this connector here and this black one right here and hope for a change. And all these connectors are secured with a latch or a nose or something. So you gotta be careful to not break it. 0.86, 0.87. So this did nothing as well. Back in. Next connector. This one. Okay, this connects both connectors of the headlight switch. So this shouldn't change a thing as well. Yep. Didn't do nothing. Back in. So there are no connectors I can disconnect. Okie dokie. Let's put this thing back inside where it came from and proceed. What a beautiful sunset. Perfect time to work on my caddy. So in here behind this cover is the main connector. Here is a bolt. I gotta undo that. So I can pull this off and we can access the main connector to the trunk. This one is well hidden. Let's put this aside. Here we have it. So this is the relay for my rear defog. And I actually don't want to pull it because I just want to disconnect this whole thing which connects the whole trunk thing in here. And now this one. Yeah. Now everything in the trunk is disconnected. Main switch on and we have a reading of 0.88. So the trunk didn't change a thing. Let's connect these connectors again. We have a white wire. The only wire I cannot disconnect in here because this thing is just a long wire. It's this connector here. But this white one is from the previous owner. And this is the one I cannot connect. I reused it for my brake lights because in Austria we cannot use brake lights as turn signals. We have checked the trunk and we know it works. I just wanted to reach to my generator to check the wiring up here, and I just found this here. So this is very bad. I gotta address that and get a new wire. So let's address this here real quick because this needs to be done right now. So I'm wrapping it in electrical tape just for now. This runs from the battery to my main switch. All this grimy stuff in here is the underbody coating, which is especially nice if you gotta work on your car. That is wrapped, and now let's zip tie it out of the way. So down there is the wire. Somehow I gotta zip tie it to the brake line here. I can't reach it from here, or do I? Or here I have it. So let's get the zip tie on it first. Wow, this is really tight in here. Now that the zip tie is on here, I gotta look where I want to put the cable. So here maybe. This looks good, or feels good at least. Alright. Right now I'm at 0.79, 0.80. So the windshield washer pump here does nothing as well. Well, this isn't the pump, this is, I think this is the level indicator. That's it for now. I'm losing daylight, and yeah, I tried a few things. I haven't tried yet. They weren't the cause. So I gotta wash my hands. And yeah, get back to edit this footage. So right now I wanna look how these connections to my starter motor look up there. If I can see something grounding out and possibly cause my problem. They look okay, except for my dirty starter motor. So this is what I'm looking at right now. This is the connection straight from the battery, and it looks okay-ish. But as you can see, this has to be, I think, the purple wire here. But as you can see, this is really dirty in here. So maybe I just pull out the starter real quick. In order to get this starter here out, I have to take out the cover for my torque converter. And then there are just two screws here. But first, and then I have to disconnect the two connections up here, the wires. Then there are just two bolts holding in the starter. And one is also connected to the ground. A few more things I wanted to mention.
is that the relay for my antenna is stuck at customs right now. I don't know why. I haven't heard from them except for the message that there is a problem. And I'm still waiting for this wire, which you've seen is crispy from burning on my headers. So I still have to swap this out. I gotta get things going in my spare time. The cover is held in by 4 bolts. Not that hard to get out, but these upper bolts are a bit harder to reach. Getting bolts out is one thing, but getting them back in is a whole new story. And here comes bolt number 4. The thing with my cover is, or with my transmission, that it is leaking. Let's see how much fluid is stuck in there. If I can get it out. Maybe this side first. Doesn't look too bad. Oh, there is still some in it. The smell of automatic transmission oil. So while I'm at it, let's look if I can see something leaking in here. I honestly can't tell where it is leaking. It doesn't look like it's the pump, because it is dry, I think. Where are you leaking from? Maybe it's just the sealant here. I just used RTV a while back, but maybe it doesn't seal that good. Maybe I can see more with this thing here. Hopefully. Well, there is a small spot, but this looks like it's been dry for ages. This is what I'm looking at right now. This is the spot I meant. This is definitely dry. And up in here, I can't see very much. But it doesn't look like it's been leaking in here. It does look dry, so maybe it's really just my RTV seal here, a self-made one. Maybe I have to get a cork gasket for this one right here. It's really hard to tell where my transmission is leaking from. Excuse me for getting off the track, but this is a thing that's been bugging me for years. Let's do the thing I came here for. The next thing to get started off is disconnecting the wires up front here. Can I reach those bolts here easily? Nope, cannot reach it. So maybe if I open these two and lower the starter a bit. I honestly can't remember how I got this thing in here when I installed my headers. But back then I had at least a lift to put the car on. And the lift does make things way easier. Yeah. Let's try to lower this thing real quick. Come on. Let's try the other bolt as well. Yep. Can't reach it. Nice. It worked. So can I reach it better now? Definitely, maybe. Looks good. I think. Yeah. Here we go. I may have to get this cover up here out. There is one heat shield for the starter. I can't feel the purple wire. Oh, here it is. Where does it run? Here into this. Try to get wire here out from the starter. Here we go. Maybe this was the reason. These wires have seen better days for sure. Yeah, so maybe it is good that I have ordered a new wire for the starter motor, because I think I'm rewiring it from the battery to my main switch to the starter. How does the other connection look? This upper bolt here is where the thick wire goes from the battery. There is, I think it's the purple one, or is this the purple one? One is brown, one is purple, so I have to disconnect this one as well. And then I think I have to get this cover here off. Up there is one bolt. Ooh. Ninja reflexes do come in handy. Ground is off too. Now let's see if I can get this out again. And if I can get it out, will I be able to get it back in? Honestly, can't tell you how I got it in or out. I have to get this cover out too. So this is my heat shield for the starter motor. This won't come out that way. These two wires are the brown and the purple one. Both are dirty as hell. But yeah, I can't get the starter here out. Nope. There is no chance of getting this out without getting the headers out first. Alright. Then I'll get in all these things again. So I just connected this wire here to my starter, to the positive terminal. 10 amps. I'm pushing the door jump button and turning on the car, the main switch. Okay, 0.60. still have to search for the parasitic draw, but it's about 0.3 amps less than the last time. So either the brown or the purple wire are the circuits which draw 30 milliamps. I'm connecting the purple wire and we test again. Purple and positive wire are now connected. Let's test this. Again, I'm pushing the door trim button. Wow. Let's connect the brown wire next. But it's interesting that this drains the battery even more. So brown wire is connected too. So let's test once more. Door trim button in, main switch on. 1.26. Well, it got worse. Let's bolt in the starter motor all the way. And yeah, maybe the connection is just bad. What I know so far is that with the purple wire, the drain got higher. The brown wire didn't add a thing. So I gotta track down the purple wire. And this one goes to the EFI harness. So maybe something's up there. Let's bolt the starter in and inspect the fuel injection harness. The starter is bolted in all the way, everything's connected. Now let's hope that at least my parasitic drain is where it was the last time before I unbolted my starter. Door trim button in, main switch on. Yay, it got worse. Oh. Maybe closing the trunk helps. Alright, door trim button in, main switch on. Maybe it's really just this one thick positive wire going to my starter, which was a bit oxidized, bad connection. So I hope that this gets better with my new wires. Now I want to track down my purple wire coming up from the starter motor to my EFI harness and see where it runs. Maybe somewhere there we get a clue of why we're having a parasitic drain. So the purple wire is coming up here. And is it that one? This wire was purple a long time ago. So this runs here to this connector. And where does this run to? This is a yellow wire, I think. Or is it still a purple wire? This goes back inside of the car. Is this another butchering from the previous owner? Or what is this? Oh, okay. It looks like those pinch connectors. So the previous owner loved butchering on wires. Where does this run to? So I thought I wrapped this in red because it was so dirty and grimy that I didn't see it was red. But I think I taped this because on every second wire he butchered around, cut around, put on pinch connectors.
just want to see if something grounds out here. That is bad. This middle one should be ground. See, it's not connected. That is also good. So this connector is okay. Ground is ground. The rest works fine. I mean, this is clearly a red wire. And if I touch this here, I have a solid ground. What about the purple wire here? I guess purple should not have ground. But it does. So somewhere color is grounding out. Question is where. So what am I missing? This is connected to the battery cable. So just for now I reconnect the cables so I don't lose track of which cable went where and which cable I have already opened. This one was up here. I think I got a track where this cable runs to. This runs to the bulkhead connector. I'm thinking of my main switch right now, because maybe something is wired the wrong way here. Yeah, but this doesn't do a thing. Red and black wire from the switch are switched around. Let me pull my smartphone out real quick and look up the diagram for it. So this is the wire, the thick wire from the battery. There is a thin wire here